Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Rwagnation League Grand Prix here in the US of A. It's Ben Rag McConnell, and joining the commentator's desk is the GOAT herself. It's Jess Games. How you doing?
I'm really excited for this one. I love USA, one of my favourite tracks on this game. Lots of action, lots of risk. Let's give it a good one.
It's going to be insane. I mean, we saw all of the penalties we got in Mexico, but let me just look at this track here. 20 miles, 3.4 miles, 20 turns. God, 20 miles would be insane. Two DRS zones and plenty of overtaking opportunities in Sector 2 and to an extent Sector 3. But Sector 1 is the area where I'm expecting to see the most penalties issued ever. It's such an awkward area, especially as your tires start to drop off and you need to maintain any consistency if you want to score some big championship points. Which, speaking of championship, Andy still leading 98 points ahead of Samidia, who's on 77, with Top Tom there in 73. Yenab 64. These four are all in contention for the Drivers' Championship. It looks like the rest are a little bit too far out, as Brownie in P5 with 28. Danny Coase out there, P11 with 13. He's currently holding the spot, just kind of keeping everybody else out of the top 10, although he needs to get in it himself if he wants to secure himself an invitation for next season. Straight off the bat, otherwise he'll have to compete, and that's not something you want to do. It's hard to do. Constructor standings look a little bit different. Racing Point are actually leading. It's 141 points for them, 128 there for Mercedes. McLaren there in P3. It's very much a two-horse race for the constructors. While McLaren can still pull it back, it is going to need to be... Dylan needs to pull his socks up, I think is pretty much the point. Top Tom's really pulled his weight. It's just that Dylan just doesn't seem to be able to bring it back. However, the starting grid is going to look like this going into it. We have got on pole, it's Andy, who snatched it away just ahead of Samidia there in P2. Crew 6 there, P3. Top Tom, who actually set the fastest lap in Q3, just got it invalidated in P4. Ben, P5 with Danny Code there in P6. Danny Code is going to need to keep his consistency in here if he wants to get it together. Top Jack there, P7. Jesper, P8, looking really good there for both of them, actually. Yari there, his debut in RNL, managed to get himself on P9, didn't get a time in, with Dylan there, P10. Yenap, P11. Assassin in P12. So really good position for Assassin, but not so good there for Yenap. Mateo, 13th. Brownie, 14th. They're going to be holding down towards the back as Alpaskaya, who couldn't get a time on the ball, finishes in 15th, with Yonti there in 16th place. Copy 17th, with Beaker in 18th place. Alfa Romeo had a bit of a mare today because Dennis in 19th, with Luca, who couldn't get a time on the board at all, is in 20th place. And so now we're going to go to a hot lap here of the USA, done by our good friend Yonti as he goes down with the DRS wing wide open, charging up towards turn 1. You want to brake just after the safety car box on the right-hand side and get yourself right down the gears to around about gear 2 to help with that rotation. Then short shift up to gear 3, get a nice smooth exit, and then carry it round for turn 2. Into the hardest section of the track, and easily the hardest section for me in most tracks. You go right, left, and then right again into a long right-hander, into an awkward breakers up for a left-hander, then for another right, and then another left, because the snake doesn't end here. And now we're going into the end of the snake. One final left before you get to the most important corner on this track. This is the corner before the long DRS back straight. This is where you're going to see majority of exits being crucial because the DRS is going to be up in here. Overtake is going to be so easy to do if you're in the right toe, but if you get a good exit, you can protect yourself. A lot of DRS are going to be dumped here, and you brake when you get to the F1 2020 sign on the right side and get right on the gears. They're on gear 2, and then short shift on the exit just to make sure you don't lose the rear. Now into a cutback city, because if you're trying to cut back once, you have to cut back on every single corner there on out, because into a nice awkward double left-hander where you need to keep it tight to the inside, and he's done exactly that. Now, coming into the long sweepy right-hander, it's actually 3 turns here, but all just one long one for the car. Second to last corner, quick left into the final corner. This is a very slow, awkward left, and again, you need to be careful on the throttle, and this is the second most important corner because as we go on to a new lap, your DRS gets enabled, and you have to give it the full beans if you want to achieve greatness here in USA. So we are now all on the grid. The drivers are on their grid boxes, just getting their setups loaded, getting themselves strapped in, looking at the weather forecast and trying to figure out whether or not they're going to need to do anything spectacular when it comes into this. We are going to get a quick prediction going in the chat. Let's go with the safety car lap 1 ? Yes, no. You've got a whole 2 minutes to get this prediction in. So you need to make sure that you've put your predictions in ASAP if you want to get your ginger nuts back in your pockets, or get some more actually if you didn't lose out on the first one. Apologies for the little graphic that appeared at the bottom there. Oh, actually, let's get a nice little cheeky one up there. Formation lap is underway, and Jess, I haven't done it to you yet. I need a 1, 2, 3 from you, please. Whilst Jess is giving me her 1, 2, 3, if you guys in the chat could also give me a 1, 2, 3, that would be fantastic.
Oh, it's a tough one, but this is going to come down to, once again, like Mexico, who's going to keep it with less penalties. I'm almost certain almost everyone's going to get penalties. It's hard to not get penalties around here. I've experienced that quite a few times. So I think, and I know some midget might yell at me if I jinx him, but I think some midget's going to get a home GP win tonight. And I think mainly due to Andy keep getting penalties. He needs to stop getting penalties. I'm going to say Andy P2, and I'm torn between Top Tom and Cruises for P3, and I think I'm going to have to give it to Top Tom. So that is my top 3. What about yours?
See, the thing is, Top Tom is actually the fastest driver out of these guys here on this track on 1 lap pace, right? He actually had the fastest lap time in Q3. He just couldn't get it together because of one slight cut, which didn't give him that much time on it, honestly. So I actually think Top Tom is going to be something to really watch out for here, but he has been plagued with so many issues. It has been a real disaster for him. He's gone for some moves that have not worked out for him, and then he's had to do, like, don't get me wrong, some incredible catches. We've seen him pull off absolute miracle results when it comes to the catching of the car, but that doesn't give you the best of results. I think I've only seen him win twice. I say only, in comparison to Andy, who's crossed the line at first in almost all of the races except those 2. 3, I think, actually. Samidia is somebody who has that consistency, and this is where on a track like this, consistency is going to be so important. Samidia, Yenab, the 2 in particular, we look to the most when it comes to that consistency. Top Tom as well, he's actually right there alongside them too. And strategy, that's also going to play a big deal when it comes to this Grand Prix. You need to make sure that you keep it correct. Now, I know it says hashtag save the turtles. I believe that's actually Mateo. I think it is anyway.
Yeah, it is. Because Ben's in the other AlphaTauri.
I wasn't sure if Camille had decided to check his... I know, I've got a nickname on for him, so I know it's definitely not Camille. It's definitely Mateo then. Alrighty, here we go. 56 laps here in Texas. That's where this track is held. Circuit of Americas. Of the Americas, my apologies. We're now apparently on lap 2, according to the graphic just there. It's just fixed itself as we are now here. Lights are on then in the USA for the Rwagnation League. And it's away we go. And he's got a pretty good start. Looks like Samid's also got the same. Cruise 6 might be under threat. And never mind, he's not. Actually, there's a Renault coming through. That's Top Jack round the outside through here. It's going to be really difficult as they go 3 abreast coming into turn 1. They've kept it together. There's a Ferrari that's being sandwiched. That's Yenab on the other side of him, trying to keep himself clean. Assassin was the one getting the squeeze. And I think nobody has died so far lap 1. The safety car prediction is looking set on it being a no.
Yeah, it looks like it at the moment, but it's still... Oh, what's happened there?
Alpes, Kaya, and Dennis have come together. 5-second penalty for Luca for gaining a place with corner cutting. That might get removed. And obviously, we don't know exactly what happened. The stewards will be looking into that, and we'll find out. As Mateo's lost a position here, he's actually fighting back here with Yonti. Bit of a late break from him. Almost goes a bit too deep there. Yonti's actually trying to stick it through. I think he's got the result he needed. Yes, he has. The exit is good, but the gap has been broken. We are almost at the 1-second margin. Yenab is through on Dylan. Dylan choosing not to burn any ERS, and actually he's putting down to P10.
Yeah, quite a lot of people losing positions actually in the formation. Lampers Mateo looks like he's lost another one from, it looks like Assassin. Yes, once again, just past turn 12 and heading past 13 and 14. I definitely call it as 1 turn, but it's known as 2 turns, knowing me. So we'll see. Anyway, Dylan having a good start as well in 10th position too, as Luca is fighting with Beaker, going side by side here with the long right-hander here, and I think Luca has the edge on Beaker at the moment. Luca's up into P16. Still a long way to go, of course, with Luca on the softs compared to Beaker's mediums. Luca only one inside the top, well, outside the top 10 at the moment on the soft tyres. Everyone else is on the mediums, so should be interesting for Luca for the first part of the race anyway, but he probably will find it difficult towards the middle stage where everyone else will be on softer tyres. Oh my god, that was close from Luca, but there we go. He almost tried to get past Copy.
Yeah, the telemetry is messed up on the left-hand side, so positions are not representative, and neither are the timings, and neither is the lap counter. We are on lap 2, I assure you. DRS has not yet been enabled. You'll have to bear with until we get to lap 3, where it should fix itself and everything will then resume as normal. Hashtag fixed, am I right? Continuing on though, Andy, still your race leader. Samidia is actually doing a good job to stay with Andy, but Andy looks like he's actually doing a lot here to try and pull away quite quickly. Crew 6 there in P3 is pretty much a Mercedes sandwich, as Samidia's going to be feeling very alone right now. His teammate, who's normally racing pretty close to him, is right the way down there in P9, so he's going to have to try and hold on tight to this. Actually, Dylan and Yonti going side by side, coming into the braking zone at the end of the back straight. I think Dylan might just be able to keep this together as long as he doesn't edge out here and they come into the double left-hander. Yonti's still trying to stick it through with him. It's going to be very difficult for him to achieve the outside line through here, and as proven, I was about to rule him out, but he's actually staying here on the inside for both of these right-handers. Well done, Yonti. A very solid defense. Although Dylan is not going down without a fight. He's giving it the full beans, but Yonti is the one who comes out on top. P10 still for him. However, that gap looks to me like it's about to break a 1 second margin. We'll see now as they cross the line. All of the timings on the left should now correct themselves. Yeah, Yonti is outside the 1 second margin. That means now he's going to need to really commit if he wants to get back into it.
As is all the people who are outside the 1 second margin as well. Matteo, Copy as well. We also got Ben, who's almost out of that 1 second margin, as well as Top Tom too. So people need to start pushing if they want to get into that DRS straight away. But some people may be playing the long game at the start of this race because they do know what's to come. They do know they may have to make certain stops. They may need to make one stop or two more stops. We'll have to find out. But, you know, this may not be the last penalty we see. Luca gets himself another one already on lap 3, and Luca's known for getting a lot of penalties, so to be honest, I am not surprised. Let's hope he doesn't get any more.
Well, we are on lap 3, and I can confirm there were no safety cars on lap 1, so if a moderator could please close the prediction for me, that would be fantastic. We are going to stay on board with Yonti for the meantime. He's done a good job to bring himself back into the 1 second margin of Yanab, but he does have to be careful that he doesn't burn too much ERS maintaining that. 30% is what he's got remaining in his battery right now through all these braking zones, so it's got to be smooth. I'm actually worried about his tyres, because his tyres are surely getting shredded with the amount that he's been braking hard and locking up the left-hand side. 91% left side, 92% right side. He needs to just rein that lock up a lot more.
Yeah, I'm noticing quite a few people locking up as well. I think it tends to overheat, and obviously USA is quite hot anyway, so it is to be expected. But the heavy braking zones coming up here as well is where people tend to gain a little bit of time temperature as well. So if they overheat them too much, they're going to be in a lot of trouble as well, as Luca gains another position from Matteo. So Luca is up into P13 on the track, at least, as all. And he's got a 3 second time penalty already. That's already put him on the back foot compared to the likes of Samidia at Crew 6 and Danny Coe up in 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. I was hoping Andy would keep penalty free, but the race is just not happening.
This is something I've critiqued him on a fair few times, and I'll continue to do so until he eventually does something about it. Andy, with a 3 second penalty on lap 4, can I add? That is a real worry if you're Andy. You got to fix it now. You've got to fix it right this second, because you know, if you look at Samidia, he, in my opinion, is the most consistent driver on the grid. He had a penalty in one of the other races, but him, Yenab, I think Copy is the only person who's not yet had a penalty at all. In any of the races at all. This is exactly what he needs to do. So if somebody can maintain this level of consistency, if he keeps himself penalty 3, again, this is looking like a win here. It is his home track, despite the fact he claims Mexico is his home track. He is in fact an American. I've had it confirmed. He just enjoys Mexico more, apparently.
Interesting. If there's a track where you want to win, it's definitely your home Grand Prix. So I know some media is going to use that as motivation here today, but he's doing well so far. But as it stands right now, some media is looking to course to win this race, but we still have on lap 5, and there's still many things that could happen. There still could be safety cars, there still could be more people gaining penalties, and there could still be people making strategy mistakes as well, as Brownlee gets past Matteo again. Matteo seems to be struggling, I think, for to defend, I think, at the moment in USA, as Brownlee gets through near the S's as well. So great recovery drive from Brownlee so far, and we've got the runner that's pitted a lap ago, I believe, onto a fresh set of softs. I thought he would have gone onto the hards or mediums, but I guess he wants to start softer straight off and carry on where he left off, maybe, I don't know, or maybe he hasn't Maybe he's run out of mediums, I don't know, but we'll see.
Who knows, you know? Who knows? Andy, still race leader. 7/10 though between him and Sumidia. That hasn't really benefited Andy at all. And that's kind of a worry, to be honest, because this is a track where Andy, as he expects to get penalties, needs to have the pace to pull away and get away. He can't do that. Somebody's managing everything he needs to, although the ERS is actually favoured slightly to Andy. So if I was Andy, I'd personally be burning that ERS to break that 1 second margin. If you end up losing out to somebody in the long run anyway, have you actually lost out? Because you're already down 3 second penalty. If you don't pull that 1 second margin, then you're really going to be in trouble.
Yeah, you are as well, and especially with the DRS zone heading into the long back straight, which probably the most overtakes happen anyway. If you don't have DRS, I'm almost certain that the ones behind you are going to overtake you. So you're just going to be a sitting duck like we were discussing earlier on as well. So Brownie's going to be in trouble now, and a few more people too. So they're just going to hope that nobody catches anytime soon as well. And we're already seeing a massive DRS train from like first place all the way down to 12. It's just insane how close it is right now. All it takes is a small mistake, and that could drop them way down the order if they pick up penalties or make a mistake or even just lose time. So we shall see what happens with the top 12 who are running really good right now. But Luca, I think, will need to pick up the pace to get back into the DRS range once again. But we're starting to see warnings from the drivers, and Mateo just picked up a penalty as I said that. So
yeah.
Oh.
I don't think you can take the blame for that one. That's not on you. You didn't name and shame anybody there, so you're safe. Don't worry.
Thank God.
Penalties currently only 2 really. One on Matteo, one on Andy. The other one on Luca was for overtaking under yellow flag conditions, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. He gained a place unfairly, is basically what it came down to. So we'll see whether or not it ends up being removed. We won't know until a couple of days' time when the stewards review it, or tomorrow even, and then we'll be able to go from there. However, he will take the penalty when the checkered flag does fall. He will lose time and place no matter what. We'll see if he can actually get any more places. I mean, he has pace. He's already proven that he's got that pace, but he's only got past the medium runners, and he's 3 seconds away from his teammate there in P12s, and neither of which are running in any points positions. But the train that's going on goes from P1 right the way down to P12, and this is a battle of attrition, really.
Yeah, I think people are just being patient, but I'm like, come on, get some move done for goodness sake. But they are races in the way. They don't want to get involved in some instance, so they're going to go for moves as they see fit around here, around Cota, Austin, Texas. But somebody is looking like he's the closest right now, and the second that's closest is Danico as well. Danico has surprised me so far as well in this qualifying session, in this race session so far as well. He's keeping in 4th place. I thought he would drop down a bit, but he's actually doing quite well. It kind of reminds me of Ben's performance in Britain, where Camille qualified for him, and we were expecting to drop lower down than where he was. Yep. So, you know, Danny Coe reminds me of Ben in Britain, but this time Danny's doing it in USA, because I believe someone else qualified for him yesterday. Am I right, Danny Coe?
Hugo's, yes, it was Hugo's.
Yes.
Yep. He qualified for him, got him all the way up there. And yeah, you're right, absolutely. It's very much the same situation as was in Silverstone, but with AlphaTauri. Actually, want to touch on Danico real quick whilst we're on that topic. I've critiqued him as well in the past, again, about consistency, because for me, consistency is so much more important than outright pace. And you don't want to be in Dylan's position right now, where he's got 3 second time penalty added, because you're just going to drop those places. And in a train like this, where we're really close together, you're just going to fall right out of huge points positions, and that's you can't afford that. You cannot afford that at all. So, you know, Andy, obviously the one who's got the most to lose right now. Danico needs to make sure he continues this level of consistency, and I think going into this GP, this would have been something he did practice over and over again, knowing that he actually really cannot afford to get any warnings or any penalties. And so far, so good.
Yeah, don't jinx anything, Ben, because you never know what could happen. There may be some warnings that he's already picked up as well, but looking at the way he's driving, he's looking very clean as well. I think a lot of drivers want to make sure that they keep themselves clean. A few drivers have put in a lot of practice for this, I think more than any track, due to the fact that if they get penalties, then it's pretty much almost game over for them. They don't want a safety car, because if they do get a safety car, that would drop them out of the points as well. So, you know, these guys have got to keep it consistent, even though they've got to, like, take risks. Yeah, take risks, but do not go off the track or exceed track limits, because that could cause huge issues as well. But we're not seeing any moves at the moment, so it's playing a long game at this stage. But, you know, we're seeing the Renault driver in P19 catching up to Dennis, so his race, he can still gain a position even though he pitted already, so his race is far from over yet. Everyone's involved in the battle at the moment, apart from Dennis, who 19 seconds down the road, which is a shame, but he could pick up the pace a little bit if people start to struggle, because I know the softs will start to die out soon. Not quite sure when. Don't know how long these tyres do last around here. I can't remember. I'll need to double check my notes, but, you know, I think the crossover point won't be too long now. And a 56 lap race, I've noticed around here, tyre deg is not good, but not bad. It's not the worst track, I have to say, but the tyre management and ERS management is key. I lose all my ERS around here, and it's because I push too much when I'm in battles. Let's just hope people don't get in the same conundrum as what I faced.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. These guys are really good at managing that battery and making sure that they keep themselves at a point where they can actually attack whenever they want to. I mean, look at Top right now. He's already on the back of Danico, very close to the back of him. He's actually got 92% battery now coming onto the back straight. I've got a feeling he's going to go for a big sendy. He's got overtake in mode 3. DRS wing wide open. He's very much hard into that toe, and he's trying to break a gap here. He's done it. He's ahead of Danico. Danico will not put up a fight. And Tom, oh yeah, never mind. I'd say that back. He is put up a fight around the outside. He's going to stick it through very tight between the two of them. This is not what you want to do here, boys. You need to surrender position, one of you, because you're only going to break a gap you don't want to have. And Tom's got the inside for the double left-hander. If Danico can keep around the outside for here as well, he might actually just hold this position down, but he hasn't. Tom, very well done there from him. A lot of scrapping, but look at the time it's lost him. He's still within DRS between him and Crew 6. But my word, that was very close between them. He needed to keep that as close to the guys ahead of him. The train needs to continue. It needs to still chugging along on those tracks, although it is slightly derailing down there in P9.
That's what I'm talking about with the battles that have been going on at the moment. People are finally getting their elbows out, and I wonder if that's going to trigger everyone else behind or in front to start battling too as well. Because once one person starts, everyone around you starts as well. And think, hang on, if this person can do it, maybe I could do it too. So we'll see a chain reaction, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next few laps, because they got to get past a few people on those soft tyres, because otherwise it's meaningless. I know some of them may go on the final softs at the end of the Grand Prix, but it depends on how many options they've got at the end in terms of their tyre selection as well. So we shall see.
We shall indeed. Okay, well, going into this and looking towards the end of it now, it does look like Andy will be okay in terms of his tyre wear. He's actually not doing the best. Actually, Danico is looking like he's the best currently out of the top 5. He was 2% greater than everybody else ahead of him, which is fantastic, especially after the battles he's just faced. Top Jack fighting with Ben. Top Jack has managed to get through. Ben falling down to P7. Top Jack, and they've done the right time. They've managed to secure it in such a way that keep them well within the toe of the guys ahead of them. Top Jack might want to burn just a little bit of ERS just to close it up just a tiny bit more. I mean, he is only 7/10 away, but when you get a bit of slipstream, obviously the closer you are to the car ahead, the stronger the slipstream. So he's going to need to just bring in a little bit more time. But 57% battery on the ERS means he should be able to cover that off. Not a problem. And yeah, look at that. He's already done that. Very well done. Simidiot, though, he's actually dropping back a little bit. And he's running low on ERS, 29%, 30%. That's because Andy actually deployed a lot of ERS there to try and break a bit of a gap. And I think he's going to continue to do so. But 8/10 is where it sits right now. Simidiot will have seen that already and will immediately know he's got to push hard here if he wants to stay within DRS of Andy. And he's going to try his best to break free of this curse that he has. I think there was a mention that he only got 1 penalty. It's all right. We're still good. Thought I got debated into thinking he got a second.
Nope, I didn't see him get a penalty. I didn't see it pop up, so it was only his 1 penalty that's got. But yeah, a lot of people could be playing mind games because the drivers know when the ERS is running out for other drivers because the red light pops up at the back of it. But the ones in front, such as Andy, they won't have a clue on what some idiot does unless Andy looks behind them. But you're only going to look at, I would say, the front as well. So that's going to be tricky for Andy. So you're only going to worry about the guy that you're trying to, well, attack, really, to be honest, more than the one that you're trying to defend. So that's going to be a very tricky point at this stage of the Grand Prix as well. And I'm seeing a lovely helicopter shot of everyone just trying to fight with each other. But the DRS train is showing everyone is pretty much good in the top 10 at least. So pretty much all even on pace. Yonti is still keeping in the top 10 after his troubles from last week. And Jesper's doing very well too. Another big surprise as well. He hasn't been involved in any instance yet. And I have to say, this could be a breakthrough moment for him. That if he scores well here, is this going to be his first points if he scores today? Or has he scored before, Jesper?
He's scored before. I think he scored last week, actually. He didn't score very many, but again, because it was such a penalty showdown, it was such a...
he got it on penalties, okay.
Yeah.
So he got less penalties. All right, that explains it.
Look at the G's they pulled through here. 4.1, 4.2 I saw for a second there. Imagine driving anything that would generate 4 Gs as you go through. Oh, you've just cursed him. Jasper got 3 seconds.
Jasper.
That's on you.
Yeah, that's on me. I'm sorry, Jasper.
Oh, Top Tom. He's actually doing a very good job of staying very close to the back of Crew 6. In fact, I think he's actually going to go for a maneuver. He's got the DRS he needs to go with it. There it is, Mud 3. Yep, he's going for it. DRS wing wide open, then Crew 6. Is he going to read the situation, or is he going to get caught napping? Because it looks like he's getting a little bit caught napping here. Top Tom not quite got the pace. He's turned his DRS off already. Somebody coming out of the toe because he doesn't want to go past our race leader, despite the fact that he's slowing right down. Honestly, I think the plan here for Andy is to try and close in, bring that train much more compact, and then all of a sudden just pull away, knowing that somebody doesn't actually want to pass him. 40% battery on both of the top two. Crew 6 on 63. So maybe Crew 6 could go for a bit of a dump here. Somebody needs to be careful he doesn't get caught.
Yes, I wonder if Andy's going to try and get in the situation to try and push everyone else behind him to get penalties, and then he wouldn't have to worry about it as well. Oh.
Top Jack. I know, so we've got people going in the pits. We've actually had a car spin. I think that was Beaker. Yes, it was. Beaker's had an issue. I think his tyres are probably looking a little bit warm. But pit lane starting to activate here. Ben being the first person to blink. He's gone onto the mediums. This is not going to be his only stop of the race. I can guarantee you that. But what does he go on after this? Is he going to go for another set of mediums? Or is he going to try maybe even going to another set of softs? Possibly another 2 softs after this? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But, there's Copy just sneaking out ahead of him. The Red Bull sister teams fighting it out. Copy should be a little bit better off initially because his tyres are warm, but...
Oh my god!
Oh, Ben, no! Oh, Copy with a big crash right off into the wall, and that is him out of this Grand Prix. And a safety car has been called. That was a big crash. That was... Oh my word, that was horrific. Get the medic car straight out there immediately. Copy. I mean, it was a very ambitious move there from Ben. I think Ben's going to probably get a bit of a slap on the wrists. I think he might even get himself a bit of a penalty for that one. But Copy, it's always him. The guy cannot get a break.
He's not getting any luck at the moment, and I just don't know why as well. But why? There's people that go for a move in the S's section, and sometimes when there's not much space, it just doesn't work. So, and I think it may... I don't know what to think, to be honest. It could be that it might be a racing incident, I don't know, or it could be a penalty for Ben. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not up to us, of course. It's up to the stewards. What does leave is, what would the guys in the front do? They've got to pit surely now, again, because obviously Ben pitted to cover off the undercut. And if they don't pit, they're going to lose out so much time because everyone else has made their stop. So everyone's coming in, Assassin's in as well. Maybe if you're on the mediums, going for the hard tyres will probably be the best option. We're going to see what Brownie does as Brownie comes in too. Matteo is in as well. Obviously, Ben won't pit because he already just pitted. So we're just waiting for Beaker and Beaker and Al. Oh, I can't even say his name.
Alpuskaya.
Him.
I think Top Tom just jumped Danico in the pits. And Jesper has actually jumped up in the pits as well. Look, he's all the way up into P5 now. So really good stuff from him. Yeah, he's got penalties against his name and he's going to fall right back down again. If they finish as they are right now and with this length of a gap. Obviously, a safety car always bunches them up. But this has really thrown the strategy out the window. you box as quick as you can. Yenab is the one who had to suffer the most. He double stacked with his teammate, of course, which is Samidia. The top two haven't changed at all. It's still Andy leading Samidia in P2. The penalty is still Andy and no penalty for Samidia, which is fantastic. But also now Samidia is under a very different kind of pressure because you have Top Tom right there on the back of you, who is naturally a very quick driver and also naturally very consistent. This is going to be very tough between the two of them. And you can't even rule out Danico. I don't think he's going to beat them necessarily on outright pace, but he's quick enough to stay with them. He's so far, I'm going to touch wood when I say this, I don't want to jinx him in any way, but so far he's consistent enough to keep it penalty free. This could be a podium here for Danico this weekend.
And we could be speaking to him at the end of this race, which will be nice to see. Nice to see a different person to talk to as well. As Dennis has left the session. No, Dennis. Hopefully you can join back soon. But yeah, I think Danico is doing well so far. And I think he's probably relieved that the safety car has come now, not at the end of the Grand Prix, towards the end where penalties could happen. So, you know, it's happened at the right time for him. He can put his head down. Maybe you can try and get past some of these guys as well, potentially as well. I'm a bit intrigued why Top Jack and Cruzy have gone on the softs, though. Same with Brownie and Matteo. But
yeah.
I know they'll have to probably stop, probably more than the other guys now. So, interesting for those two.
I think realistically, I actually think they've big-brained this, to be truthfully honest. Because if you think about it, those guys are on the mediums right now. They may have another set of mediums, which I think they do. They could go mediums. However, these guys that are on the softs right now could gain something out of this. If they push hard on these softs, gain as many places as they can whilst they're on these softs, then go on to the mediums after that, they could probably finish the race on that. I mean, realistically, look at it. You've got 14 laps done on those softs. You could do another 14. It'll take you to 28, obviously, and then mediums to the end. I think that's doable. I think it's doable. The incident between Ben and Copy on lap 13 is under investigation. I would also like the stewards to confirm if the notification system is working, because if not, now is the time to tell me. I can probably reset it again.
Well, we'll see anyway. I'm not seeing it pop up on the stream yet, but the stream's so delayed on my phone compared to the computer that I don't know. But I will see anyway. But yeah, 32 laps it lasts the medium tyres, so it could possibly work. Doing a medium stint and then now on in a soft at the end. But for Top Jack and Cruises, they'll have to go on to mediums at the end anyway, because otherwise they'll get disqualified for using the wrong tyre compounds, because they have to go on at least one different one. But everybody else, they can go on whatever tyre they want for their final stint. They got the softs or the hards. Hards I wouldn't touch if I were you, unless you get damage. Hards last about 42 laps, so if you get damage at this point, you at least you've got a fallback to go on, and go on the hards will save your bacon, and you can go on them till the end of the race. What's happened to Andy?
He's lagging. Oh, he's lagging really bad. I think he tabbed out. That looks to me like a tab. Safety car's coming in this lap. Oh, Andy, I don't think he's allowed to gain any more than he already has, so he's lost out no matter what. Oh, no! This has caused some real issues.
Uh-oh.
Big penalty there for Samidia. Yeah, but it's because he's trying to give back the position to Andy, and he's got a penalty as a result of it. I mean, realistically, the stewards will remove that penalty, but that's actually severely hampered his race. He's lost out physical positions by trying to give the position back to Andy so he could avoid a penalty. That is not good. Not good at all. But that does mean now then that your race leader is going to be Top Tom. And obviously the safety car coming in this lap means he is the one who controls the restart here. Top Tom then, gone already, decides it's time to get this race back underway, and he's on the medium tyres along with Danico chasing him down. Jesper in P3, Andy P4, and this is about to be a very interesting one to go all the way to the end with. And already actually seeing Crucix here and under attack here. He's actually going for a manoeuvre on Samidia down the inside and towards turn one. Samidia surely cannot hold this off because he's got the grippier tyres on the Mercedes. Crucix managing to just get around the outside. He got that position in. And Crucix up to P6. Samidia will be furious at that.
I think the one that's most furious is Andy with what happened. And I was on board with Andy with Top Jack. Top Jack got past him there as well. We got Brownie and Yonti going side by side as well. Brownie moving up in position 2. We're seeing loads of battles happening at this stage. Yonti, I think, being one of the other biggest losers there as well. But Jack's going for the battle for the podium. He's got past Jesper. Jack is looking much faster on those soft tyres compared to the medium runners. This is his chance now. If he doesn't get past these runners, he's going to be in huge trouble later on in the race, where he'll have to be on mediums, where everybody else will most likely be on the soft tyres. So he's got to get the moves done now so he can control that gap. But it's not easy at all, because Top Tom is very, very quick. I know Top Jack could get past Danico, but Top Tom is going to be a different beast. I know he's obviously the fastest on this track as well, so it's going to be hard. And I know Top Tom's going to do all he can to pull the gap already, so Top Jack could not get anywhere near. And we're going to have a battle between the tops at the moment. Top Tom versus Top Jack. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah.
Exactly, and Top Jack needs to hurry up, though, because the gap between Danico and Top Tom is already over a second, and Top Jack needs to hurry up and get that move done and dusted as quick as he can. He's already flying. Look at that, new fastest lap, and he's going for a maneuver down the inside here on Danico, right up towards turn one. He has to get hard on the brakes, but make sure he stops in time, and I think he's just about done so. Danico looking for a bit of a cutback, but the soft tyres are far too grippy right now for him to even contend with this fight whatsoever, and Top Jack is in P2. Now, the question is, which top is top? Is it Top Tom or Top Jack? And right now, it's hard to determine, because, yes, Top Jack should be naturally faster on that grippier tyre, but Top Tom has that natural outright pace. And I think if he was to put them on the same tyre, same car, everything, they would be slightly separated, but Top Tom winning.
Yeah, it's gonna be close between the two tops, but I'm liking this battle. May use that as a meme on my Twitter later on, but yeah, but I have to say, I'm liking this race already. We're seeing a lot of surprises. Meanwhile, Krutis gets past Jesper quite nicely in the DRS straight as well, with Krutis on those softer tyres too. Yenab gets past Ben, I believe. Yes, he does, quite easily too, into P8. I think that mistake that Ben did earlier has probably rattled him, but he's got to forget about that and focus on the race ahead. If he gets a penalty, which could be possible, it could be not possible, will the Jeff tell the team or not, or will the Jeff keep the penalty secret? Because I don't know what I would do in the situation, but it depends what we see this year. Obviously, if the investigation comes out as clear, then they'll probably tell them anyway to get a sigh of relief, but we'll see anyway.
Yeah, I think if I was in Samidia's position, I wouldn't have given that position back. It looks like the AlphaTauri boys are swapping places. I mean, Ben dropping a position to Matteo on purpose is the best decision there. Soft's obviously going to be much better on a track like this than the mediums, but we'll see whether or not Matteo can actually do anything with them. Top Jack has closed right up onto Top Tom. Those soft compound tyres are really making a massive difference between the two. But yeah, again, just touching back on it, it's if you're on Samidia, who obviously was getting a warning telling him that he needs to give the position back within a certain amount of time, I assume he must have thought he was going to get DQ'd from the race for that unfair overtake. But at the same time, I would have just chanced it, just taken it. If you get a 5-second penalty, realistically, you're going to give it back, because Top Jack is going for the lead. He gets on through. I think Top Tom might actually use Top Jack here, because Top Tom's got enough pace to keep up with Top Jack, even though he's on the softs, especially with the fact he's got Toe and DRS to help him. Don't be surprised here if the gap doesn't really extend all of a sudden, although Top Jack is really flying.
Yep, he is. Top Jack is doing amazing so far, and that's important, I think. I told him he's got to keep the gap within a decent amount. All his job now is to manage the ERS perfectly and make sure that the delta that he's got with those soft is controlled, and the tyres are kept under good knit as well, which he's doing all right so far. And he's already out of DRS. That is crucial at this point, and he's got to find the pace that he needs now. I think this is the crucial moves, as Cruise's gone for the move on Top Tom. Maybe Top Tom was rattled a little bit on what just happened, because Cruise is up to P2 as well. We could see a battle for the soft runners. It may not be Jack's lead after all into these next couple of laps, but we know how quick Cruise is. Yeah.
Not easy to say, don't worry. I've just realised, actually, Hwenny pointing out the obvious that I should have spotted. Thank you for pointing that out. No, actually, that's wrong. The stewards can't remove it because he would have to pit, and he would serve it in the pit lane. So, yes, somebody trying to give the position back was, in fact, the right decision to make. Just unfortunate that he got the penalty and still lost the places. So, big sad there for Samidia, but still overall a very good points run so far. He's going to have to try and fight back here hard. And his girlfriend said that 5-second penalty hurt, and then in stars physically. So I imagine he fox smashed his door.
Nice say. Now, I haven't had that in a little while, but we've seen how Top Tom has come back last week in Mexico and still got a good result. Still, even though it should have been a win, but maybe somebody could show that he still has the pace, even with that that issue that he had potentially as well, because that will show that he is definitely a championship contender. And if Top Tom could have these mistakes and bad luck and still get a podium, maybe somebody can as well. If Sasa gets a penalty, more penalties are starting to come up, Ben. And I have to say, I think only a few drivers will not get penalties at this rate.
Janab and Matteo swapping places. Matteo getting down the inside. Janab looking for the cutback. Not going to get it. Medium tyres not going to be favoured here between the two. And I think Janab didn't really want to put up a fight there. Just, go for it. Have a good and enjoy your softs. I'll catch you later. I'm looking after my tyres anyway. Not sure how far out necessarily these tyres are going to make it, but maybe you can go into the softs a bit later on and have a good time. So, unfortunately, the stewards cannot do anything about the 5-second penalty that somebody has got, because no matter what, he will serve it in the pits. And that is big sad. Copy's been in touch. Also, I forgot to mention, the stewards actually got in touch to tell us that the incident that happened between Ben and Copy has been deemed a racing incident and no further action needed. Copy has also been in the chat to tell us that the incident was in fact his fault, and he's apologising to all of his loyal fans, of which I am one. Copy, we appreciate you, mate. Unfortunate for today, but next week is your time, right?
At least Copy admitted to it as well, because I think it could have been anyone's fault. I think both of them are very, very unlucky as well. But I think, looking back at it, Copy was on the inside. And usually when you go on the inside in the S's, it goes wrong. I've experienced it in Brazil when I was going for a move on the inside of turn 1. And I ended up going into a spin. It's like similar to that. If you're on the inside of the S's and you're still there, you're going to probably end up in the wall. So, bad for Copy, but we know Copy knows when it's his fault. He apologises straight away, so fair play to him.
The race looks like it's slightly calmed down. Yonti into the pits. 6 laps in on these medium tyres, so something's gone wrong for him. Is he getting a new wing? His wing looks okay. Oh, he is getting a new wing, so he has got damage, but that wing looked perfectly okay to me. I mean, maybe there was a minor amount of damage, but either way, Yonti down in dead last on brand spanking new softs. I assume he hopes there's going to be a safety car, because that's the only way he's getting back into this race. Whilst the race is at the state that it's in currently, where it's just a bit relaxed, although Brownie might actually go for a manoeuvre here on somebody. We'll give it a minute. A quick shout out to the following people. Elto Sino Rapido, thank you for the follow. Debella Panda, Iron Giant, Ark, all the guys, thanks for the follow. Here comes Brownie on some idiot down the inside. Job is a good one. I don't think somebody's going to fight this. Nope, he's not. And that is that one done and dusted. Sir Jumbo, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Navad, thank you for the follow. Volta Racing, Mateo Longe, thank you guys for the follows. And Hayden with that raid earlier of 31 people. Thank you. Very kind of you.
Thank you very much indeed. I hope you're enjoying the RNL race so far. Let us know if your favourite is doing well so far. Now, any changes to your possible predictions as well? Have you regretted making your predictions that you've done so far in the race? I probably regretted mine, but it just shows how much there's a lot of things that change in this race, and I always think that USA is a race where it can shake things up, as we still see someone going side by side. I believe that's Mateo and San Midiet going into turn 1. You can get blinded going into turn 1 as well, but doesn't look like they are at the moment. But Mateo's up into 8th place right now, doing a decent job to try and get back at a horrible. Well, he was very close to getting into Q3 yesterday, but he's in the top 10 for now. But he knows he's got to go on to mediums at the end, so. Unless he actually, no, did he start on mediums?
I don't remember, I'll be honest with you. I remember like a goldfish.
I will check.
All right.
He did start on, he did start on mediums, so he can technically go wherever tire he wants, so scrap that.
Well, 22 laps done out of 56. Oh, we're on lap 22, sorry, or 56. Actually, Cruise 6 looking for a manoeuvre here on top, Jack. These are the battle for the soft runners up at the front of the grid. You got Brownie as well, who's another soft runner there in P7. I think he's actually going to try and go side by side. He is, in fact, going side by side with Jesper, who's off the track Currently going for a defensive line down through the double right-hander. Not going to work out for him. The soft tire is that little bit grippier. He's actually going to go for a big set. Do not do this. It's not worth it. Think of his family. And in fact, Brownie will hold on to it. Life is okay. Brownie's family will not have to worry about whether or not they lose a father today. I mean, he doesn't have any kids, but that's not the point. At least he tried.
Yeah, he tried his best, Brownie. He's on the comeback drive now, and he's doing ever so well. He's in this RNL season for a reason. He's doing a fantastic job, and he's not that far behind Andy either, so he's going to probably try and go for a send there too. We've got Matteo probably lining up on Jess as they head towards turn 1, side by side, maybe late on the brakes, but Jess still going side by side as well. Jess was trying to hold on to the line, a little bit wheel bang as well. Matteo just has the edges there due to those softer tyres. Matteo is up into P7. Can he catch Brownie? That's the important thing, and Dylan's lost it. Dylan's lost it in P16, I believe. He's dropping, Beaker's overtaken him, and so is Lucas, so that is a shame for Dylan, but there's still a long way of this race to go. It's a shame that, because Top Tom is delivering, but his teammate down in 16th is just as a teammate curse at the moment, which is a shame, really.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, Top Jack could genuinely win this. Top Jack right now could genuinely win this. The fact that he's on these softs right now, goes to the mediums later, he's going to go to the end on those mediums. It's again going to come down to what those guys who are on the mediums right now, what they choose to do. Because the softs are so much faster than the mediums initially for like the first 11 laps. I think they're the fastest tire. I think after that point, the mediums start to level it out a little bit. Obviously, it's still favored towards the softs, but the mediums will then suddenly start to become more and more in there. We need to give some shout outs to Iron Giants. Happy birthday to you, mate. Hope you're having a good one. It's still Saturday for him. Saturday for us too here. But happy birthday to you.
Yes, happy birthday. And if there's anyone else's birthdays as well, happy birthday as well. Hope you're having a good day as well. And it's Easter tomorrow as well. So hope you all have a good Easter tomorrow. So.
Oh, it is Easter tomorrow.
Easter Sunday.
I should know that. My children are very much looking forward to their Easter eggs. But, you know, my memory's terrible. What can I say? Race leader, still Top Jack, Crew 6. Doing a very good job to hang in there, but considering literally 2 laps ago, he was actually very close to the back of Top Jack, actually looking to try and fight him. Suddenly, he's looking a little bit off the pace. Maybe he's warmed his tyres up a little bit too much, and Andy, to add more salt to his already very wide open wound, it is Andy getting another 3-second penalty, and Yonti getting another fastest lap.
Yeah, Yonti fighting for glory in a different sense. He's down in last place at the moment, but he still wants to take away the fastest flat point from some other drivers that could possibly get it as well, which is good enough, but we'll see at the end of it who's going to get that, as we can see. Oh my goodness, Brownie trying to go for that send there. Can he make it work? Almost down the race once again. A bit of a locker, but Brownie, bravo. It almost ended wrong for him, but I have to say fair play to him as well. Could Andy fight back as they head towards turn 15 and 16? Maybe not. We got Matteo as well in this. Jesper, some idiot as well. And potentially Yenabzu. This is going to be spicy between these guys.
They've also got down near the back of the field. You've got Beaker and Dylan having a bit of a side-by-side fight. Dylan's actually trying to really scrap this one out. He's on those soft tyres, so he should be that little bit faster than Beaker, but Beaker's defensive abilities were pretty strong through there. He actually kept his elbows out nice and wide, and that did prevent Dylan from going for the maneuver, and those tyres on the softs will be pretty hot. But now we're going to go back up to Matteo, who's actually looking to try and attack Andy. Remember, again, soft tyres being really strong here on this track in comparison to the mediums, even where Matteo can start to attack Andy. But Andy is showing a lot of cracks in his armour today. He's really not looking the strongest of all the races we've seen. I think this is his weakest performance. Even if you take out the screen freezes or whatever it was that was causing him to fall down the order, it looks like Andy does not get on well with the USA circuit.
No, it doesn't look like it, does it? It's just all the bad luck that is happening in one race is happening here. He's got penalties, he lagged a bit as well, and he lost a few positions in the safety car. That times the amount of luck he's probably going to get for the rest of the race is going to be awful, but there could be other people that could have more bad luck, so Andy just got to keep focused. He can still get points out of this, and you never know what could happen. So Andy, I know you'll plough through anyway, he's a fast driver, but this may be one of his weaker tracks for him, but maybe next week he could bounce back stronger, and it could be a much better track. There's still a long way of the season to go, so you know, you're allowed to have one bad race, but if you have more than one bad race, then questions are going to be asked of you, but this could be a one-off for Andy.
Brownie's got himself a 3-second time penalty. In fact, let's have a quick look at the penalties. Let's do a little penalty rundown. So all of the top 4 so far do not have any penalties. Brownie is the start of the trainer penalties, which is a 3-second for him, 6 for Andy and 6 for Mateo, 3 for Jesper, 5 for Samidiot, which unfortunately he will have to serve when he goes into the pit lane. There is nothing we can do about that. Yenab doesn't have any. Ben has 3. Alpaskaya has 9. Assassin has 3. Luca has 6, which is actually really good for him considering. Dylan on 9. Beaker with 0, also very good for him. And Dennis on 3. Yonsi down there in P18 doesn't have any, but he also doesn't have any hope so far of getting any points. Again, don't necessarily count him out because all it takes another safety car and he's right back into this, especially with all the penalties ahead of him. He could suddenly go from being right at the back of the grid to in the points, as he's one of very few drivers who've kept themselves clean and consistent so far. You got Ben and Alpaskaya going side by side. Ben getting the maneuver done, and Alpaskaya losing out and getting another 3-second time penalty for cutting through into that corner onto the big back straight.
Yeah, I have to say the penalties are starting to pick up as well, but look, Alpaskaya is probably going to try and go for the move once again. Maybe he's going to look to the left a little bit as well. We got Luca also going to go into the middle of this. He may play a back seat into this as well. As the Renault has spun, unfortunately. He almost collected a few people, but that was very unlucky from the Renault there. I think he lost it on his own there by the looks of things, and that it's gone from good to bad to worse. He has had some bad luck in this race. We thought he was going to fight back, but now he's just fighting Dennis for P16, which, it's just the ones that we thought that could get a good comeback, they seem to be having bad luck all of a sudden. What on earth is happening?
Yeah, I mean, we need to get a replay, or the stewards need to go and investigate it, I think, but it looked to me like Luca actually attacked the rear end there of Alpaskaya, which caused that rotation. He went for a send down the inside, it didn't work out, and caused the rotation of the car. So we'll have to get the stewards to confirm that for us, and whether or not a penalty will be issued. I'm sure they'll be investigating. Look forward to hearing from them shortly. As Crucix gets another penalty. I think that's his first, actually.
I'll check.
Yes, that is his first, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So a 3-second penalty for Crucix. Still safe for a P2 as it stands, but remember he does have to pit sooner than those around him. Top Jack being the lead car right now and actually doing a fantastic job of keeping himself penalty free. Hopefully I didn't just jinx him. He's got to keep that going all the way to the end.
I said it to Jesper. I said he was keeping penalty free and he had a penalty. So if the Top Jack gets a penalty now, it's your fault. But anyway, I like it these two are still battling together. And Top Jack is keeping Cruises behind, which is really, really impressive for him, And Top Tom is already falling away. And that's just going to show about the delta difference between the softs and the mediums. It's not much of a difference compared to, I would say Mexico, if I just have a look at what I've got the delta as, but it's going to get to a point where the mediums are going to be at the same pace as the softs, and that's where Top Tom can really challenge the soft runners. And the 1.4 seconds between the softs and the mediums, so that is probably why Top Tom is not catching up at the moment. So quite bigger than most tracks at this stage, and 2.1 seconds between the softs and the hards. So I understand why the hards are not being used at the moment, because it's almost a second as Luke is out the race. Pit lane. Yeah.
Oh, big standing from Dylan on Beaker. Down the inside. On Assassin, sorry, not Beaker. Assassin getting caught napping, and Dylan is through on him. So up to P12 for him. Not yet getting himself into any sort of points position. Assassin had a very awkward line going through the S's, so he's going to lose out there. However, Dylan up to P12 needs to push a little bit harder if he wants to gain any more at this. 12 laps in on his soft. I would have thought they'd be a lot further up than where he is right now. And they say that Red Bull IRL have got a cursed second car. I would say McLaren have got a cursed second car in this one. Although Copy is also a cursed. But I wouldn't say he's a second car. I think he's been there long enough to claim the first seat, as Yonsi getting himself a 3-second time penalty. That is his first. It still baffles me that Yonsi drives with one leg.
It's crazy.
He has 2 legs. I want to point that out. He just uses one.
Yeah, he uses one leg for both pedals, which still amazes me. And I know some people in the chat, it's probably going to be the first time you've heard of that thing being brought in chat, that Yonti does that. And yeah, he does that. And yeah, I'm still shocked with it every week, but he still does a great job. And it just goes to show that you don't have to drive with two legs on the pedal. Well, you know what I mean. One foot on one pedal, 1 foot on the other. Because I know some people with a disability, a physical impairment, may have to do that as well. Because they have no choice. You want to obviously choose that, but some people actually don't have a choice. So if you want to get inspiration, is all we've got. It looks like Dylan going for the move on Ben once again on those soft tyres into the S's. We've got Assassin on the back of this too. And we're already almost halfway into this race. How quickly that's gone by, it's crazy. Dylan's running out of ERS though. How about Ben's ERS? How's that looking? 16. So yeah, they're pushing a little bit too much. So I wonder who's going to have advantage here as they head towards the DRS zone. Ben's going to be at disadvantage because he has no ERS. Dylan could have another look very, very soon though, which he doesn't. We're starting to see his DRS train form here. Beaker's coming back on this as well. Beaker, I think, can gain a lot out of everybody because Beaker has no penalties, which still shocked me. But Beaker's keeping it clean for once. So, GG, Beaker.
Oh, Dylan's going for a big move here on Ben. He's coming from out of nowhere with no ERS. He's locked up a little bit on the inside. Ben's going to stick it round, and Ben will hold on to that position. But Dylan can't quite get the run he needs. He's looking for a cutback. He also has to watch out behind him because Assassin, who actually does have ERS, is staying very close to a pair of these guys, and he's taking his lines a lot smoother, not burning his tyres away. Dylan trying to get around the outside of Ben. A lot of mistakes being made through there for him, and that's just going to really compromise his double right-hander here. This could be Assassin going for a little bit of a send down the inside. He's decided against it for now, but watch out on that home straight. The DRS will be heavily favoured for him, and also he has so much more ERS than what Dylan has got, that now you'll see if he goes, he didn't quite get there. That exit there has done him. He knows at this point now, well, I can't do it. There's nothing to gain here. Unfortunate for Assassin. He had it there, just, unfortunately wasn't lined up for him. The stewards have also been in touch to inform us that the incident between Luca and Alpeskaya will be investigated after the race. That means that they need some more footage before they can absolutely say this is what happened. It looks to me like Alpeskaya was caught out and Luca ran into the back of him a little bit, span him round. I got pit maneuvered effectively. But let the stewards decide as Crucix is closing in quickly on top jack there. That actually looked like he was going to go for a bit of a look down the inside, but has held back. And we give a shout out to Donor MB. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
very kind of you.
I think with the Kaya and Luca incident, from my angle at least, I couldn't tell whose fault it was. So it is understandable. Meanwhile, Dylan is going for a move once again on Ben. Again, this time after the DRS zone. It's a commonplace to overtake it, but Ben is looking like he's not giving up. He says, no way, you're not having that position. I am, as he tries to go to the left-hand side line. He does at least as well. Luca could use his opportunity to maybe go into the middle of them as well. Still going side by side as well. Let's not turn it into a mess, lads, which they're not as well. Dylan's going to try and go for the sender dreams here. Still side by side here, going in towards the final corner. Who's going to have the DRS? It is Dylan that still has a DRS, and that's been pushed off the circuit. Luckily, no damage there as well. That's going to give Assassin. I'm getting confused with that. So I saw it, but Luca was not in the middle of that. It was Assassin. So I do apologise because I was used to Luca being up there, but no, it's Assassin. Luca's out the race. Apologies about that in chat, but Assassin's doing very well. As the Renault of Kaya is out the race, which is a shame, but that's voluntary.
What a battle we had between those three, in fact. I mean, it started off just being Dylan and Ben. They were going side by side throughout. Ben actually lost out 2 places because he didn't cut his losses at any point, and Dylan, who's on these soft tyres, yes, they are coming towards the end of their life. They should start to be a little bit more favoured towards the medium runners. Did, in fact, cause him to drop out and lose 2 places. So he's down in P13, but not out without a fight. He can still keep going. We'll have to watch and see. As Top Jack, our race leader, is continuing in his race leading form. But he does have to worry about Crucix, who was looking very quick, does have a penalty. Yes, that's true. However, if he goes side by side with Top Jack, that's where the pressure starts to get to you. As Crucix is in. Crucix decided 16 laps or 17 laps now are enough on these soft tyres. I want to get off of them. I want to go on to, I assume, mediums. And this will probably be to the end. Here he comes into the box. Yes, they are mediums, in fact, going onto his car. This is the last stop he's going to be doing in this race. Can Crucix make up for the penalty he's got? And will he regain some high point scoring position? Because everybody ahead of him also have to pit, and he was only, 6 tenths away from Top Jack, which was race leader. I think Krusix is going to be the one to benefit the most here, I think.
Yeah, I agree so as well. So Jack has got to produce the best in-lap he can, which he is pushing, which is a determination for him as well. But I know Jack will have to pit soon. But yeah, whenever the soft runners pit now, if they want to go on to mediums, they can make it till the end of this Grand Prix. So they can make it as well. So they can go on whatever strategy they want as well. And I have to say, Danny Go is still on the back of Top Tom, still chasing him down as well. Nice surprise so far this race, I have to say, that we could be speaking to somebody different in the commentary box for the podium, which will be nice and refreshing to see at least. Brownie, I have to say, Brownie's my try of the day so far, because he's gained, let me just see how many positions he's gained so far. He's gained 9 positions. He started 10, 11, 12, 13th on the grid, and he's now in 4th place. So he's driving brilliantly so far, and it just goes to show never give up, and he still could be on shot for a podium. So yeah, Brownie definitely my drive of the day so far.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, to be honest. I think he's done a fantastic job. The only downside is he's got penalties, and speaking of which, Andy getting another penalty.
Oh, no.
Andy is down there in P5 right now with 9 seconds. Yes, somebody's got those 5, which is wrong that he's got them. But yeah, he's right there, and they're all within that train there for Andy. So this could suddenly become a huge point gain for Racing Point. It wouldn't surprise me if that ends up being the case. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, right now, if you look at it in terms of the gap, if they box and come out and they stay as it is, take the 5-second penalty, it should still be some idiot keeping himself ahead of majority of drivers. I think he only loses out to Krusix in the end, but Krusix already is going to be so much further up the field than you would expect. It's just now maintaining it overall. So we'll see as we go through lap 33 of 56 here. We're nearing the end stages, and we're expecting the soft runners to start boxing soon. Let's go on board with our race leader, Top Jack, as he's coming through into the final sector. About to, is he going to pit this lap? That's the question. We saw Krusix come in and go. I think that was pretty optimal there to go into those mediums. He might have struggled towards the end, but I think realistically they will be pretty good and no risk of puncture, which is sad for me. I love seeing puncture explosions, but I could have seen it in the F2s if I'd been made aware that was going to happen.
Yeah, potentially.
Oh, he's in. Top Jack is coming in off the soft scent. So mediums, no doubt, going to the end. I wonder if Brownie's going to box this lap. He decides against it. Matteo also deciding against it. Those two doing the same amount of time on the tyres, but they're staying out. In fact, let's have a quick look at the tyre situation. I can't see his, unfortunately, because he's got locked in. And we can't see Brownie's. Neither of them have got their telemetry set to public, so we can't see what their tyre problems
There's Krutix coming into the start-finish straight. Top Jack coming out of the pits. And Krutix with that undercut worked perfectly. And Krutix is in the lead by 1.8 seconds. So Krutix has gained a full second on Top Jack in the pit stop. So yeah, undercut OP, I would say.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, especially, it's either that or the outlap was really good from Krusix. Top Jack didn't do a bad job, don't get me wrong. He actually held himself quite well, but now it's, what do? You've got the gap between Krusix ahead of you, 1.9 seconds, and it looks like it's slightly expanding, which is whilst Top Jack is getting his tyres up to temperature. But at the same time, you also don't have to push too hard, because Krusix does have that penalty, which is going to affect him later on. You are the only Renault actually fighting for anything. His teammate is DNF, so he's currently holding the Renault backpack quite heavy. See if he can actually carry this through for some big. I think he's still looking for a podium here. Top Jack, I reckon P3, P2.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
To be honest, considering where he started, because I think he started, what was it, 8th or something?
Have a look.
I don't even know. I'm losing count.
He's down 3, so he started 7th.
Yeah, he started 7th. So considering he started 7th, that's still a really good game for him. And the thing is, he looked good last week as well. In what race was it? It was Mexico. I think it was his debut race in the RNL.
Yep.
So, he's showing why he deserves to be here. And to be honest, Renault has done a great job picking him to replace the likes of Galvaband and the likes of whoever else was in the Renault before him. I can't remember who was in it. But anyway, Renault did a great job in getting top Jack anyway. And hopefully they're going to see some consistent results from Renault, just like they've seen from Galbaband. So, yeah.
Yep. It was Phoenix Legend, I believe, who was in Renault before him.
And I guess Kaya is filling in for Galbaband this week, right?
Yes.
That's what confused me. So Phoenix is... So Top Jack replaced Phoenix. There we go. That's a good lineup, I have to say, between Galbaband and Jet. I think they'll complement each other very well. So
Somebody's going for a move here on Mateo. The softs are starting to drop too much now. Mateo has now lost a lot of pace. In fact, both the race supposed to go for the inside here. Ooh. This could be disastrous for Mateo. He cannot afford to let this happen. He's staying tight on the inside and trying to hold Yenab out as much as he possibly can. Somebody's going to be deep, and he's got a bit of a tank slapper on. This is going to make it really difficult coming into this left-hander. Mateo stuck on the outside. Yenab sees a gap down the inside and goes for it, but now it's a double right-hander, or triple right-hander if you think about it. There's one, here's two, and here's the third, and that is why Mateo is able to hold on to that position, because he had the inside line, but Samidia pulled a bit of a gap there. Yenab actually might sniff a look down the home straight. Actually, Mateo decides boxed is now, and same for the other soft runners up ahead.
Medium runners are paying as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bit shocked. I'm guessing softs. Right, let me do my research, because I think the softs can do it, but it's going to be an absolute push for it to be optimum pace.
Yeah, optimum, absolutely. I completely agree with that. Mateo did 21 laps there on the soft, so they can take it to the end, but like you say...
he was struggling. He was struggling on keeping the pace consistent, and that's the important thing. 24 laps, it lasts these soft tyres, but yeah, it's going to be a bit of a push, but we know Top Tom could do it potentially as well if he can get past some of the medium runners that the likes of Cruises and Top Jack. Then he can get that gap that he needs to and potentially get that win, and then start to drop down the pace towards the end. And then when Cruises and Top Jack go close up to him again, that's when he can push and he should be fine. So it's not over for Top Tom yet.
No, definitely not. So, and if you look at the tyre situation going on for those guys up ahead as well, they're all running pretty low. I mean, Danico was on 58% as his lowest. That was on the rear left. You got Andy, who's on 55% on his front left. You got Jesper, who's 56% on the front left. You got Sumidi on 57% on 3 of his tyres. And then Yenab, who's also on 57%, and that was front left as well. So this is looking good for Top Tom, to be honest. I think the fact that he's on the softs, I actually want to stay out. When he gets a bit closer, I'm going to stay on board with him for the majority, because he is going to be an absolute missile. Again, he has to make sure that he keeps himself clean and no penalties for him. Jesper, who's on the coming into the pits now, 22 laps done on these medium tyres, 55% wear, now onto softs to go to the end. Again, the question, I mean, his tyre wear seems to be pretty good overall. It's just whether or not he can keep himself in that level and not drop out when it comes to the end. Obviously, he does still have the penalties. In fact, let's have a quick look at the penalty situation. Our race leader, Danico, right now, 3 seconds of penalties. Andy on 9, Sumidi with a 5, Yenab with 0, Crucix with 3. Top Jack and Top Tom both have 0. Top Jack is still ahead of Top Tom, even after that pit stop has happened. However, they are on very different compounds. Bear that in mind as we go through. Brownie with 3, Assassin with 3, Beaker with 0, Jesper with 6, Mateo with 6, Ben with 9. He's just got another 3 there. Dylan with 12, Dennis with 3, and Yonti with 6. So now people are going to be pushing pretty hard. I think the softs are going to be really in a bad way towards the end of this race. However, it's whether or not Top Jack has got the pace to be able to keep Top Tom behind before that happens. Because if the cliff falls after he's already passed him, it's going to be really tough and tight towards the end, and whether or not he can actually pull this one off. As Bika is actually going for a side-by-side scrap here with Mateo. Mateo looks like he might just hold on to this. Bika's looking for the cutback of dreams, but it's not going to work out here because you don't want to do that onto the double right-hander or triple right-hander, and Bika will not get in that position. Yenab and Sumidia. Yenab has decided it's box time. Andy in as well. And he's in the box already. Getting off those tyres onto brand new ones. Yenab got 54% as his lowest. Top Tom sets the timing board alight with a 32.862. A really good pace from him, and his teammate gets a penalty.
I think Top Tom is usually here in the race to pick up the pieces if the likes of Andy and struggle, I think. Even though Top Tom makes some mistakes, he always bounces back up as well. But Andy is just not doing that. Top Tom usually likes to bounce things up as well. And this is the race for him where Top Tom's race is not falling to pieces. He's actually having good luck at the moment, touch wood. No penalties so far, and he's keeping his softs very good as well. Oh, God. I'm worried I've jinxed him, ladies and gentlemen. And as some of you know, me and Ben like Top Tom to death. So,
I've definitely got a soft spot for Top Tom, without doubt.
So do I.
It's sad. It's sad that we have such a soft spot for him over everyone else, because there are a lot of people in here that deserve that as well. But I don't know what it is about Top Tom. I just think he's a really good lad. He's got the right head on his shoulders and really good, strong mentality to go with it. As Jesper and Matteo going against, but Matteo's been in the wars in this race, but they're both on really new softs. Matteo looks like he's the better driver right now because he is through and he's got the gap needed. Jesper might just be able to try and attack again, but you don't want to. Ideally, you're only going to lose time by doing this. Matteo gets up to P8. He's only 1.7 seconds away. And Danico, who was our race leader, has now boxed for what is going to be the last time onto the soft compound tyres. And now he's going to try and take these to the end. Submitted at 24 laps on these mediums. I don't see a way out for him here. Unless he tries to take these mediums to the end, which surely can't be done.
No, it can't. It can't. It's literally impossible. As Ben's out the race, I'm guessing he retired voluntary. Yeah, he did. Voluntary. What? Why? Because he was not having a bad race. So did something happen? I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Hweni giving me a bit of stick for being a Top Tom fanboy and not backing Andy. The thing is, right, Andy's very much like, to me, he's like Lewis Hamilton, except a less consistent Lewis Hamilton. He's very fast. He's someone you expect to be winning these races, right? Top Tom is, to an extent, he's a bit of an underdog. He's not much slower than Andy, and in a few tracks, he's been faster. It's, again, though, it comes down to, and this is why I have such a soft spot for Top Tom over Andy, the consistency. Consistency, to me, I value way more than pace. Copy, also, right there, near Top Tom in terms of my, my soft spots. Because Copy is somebody who is very consistent, very rarely gets penalties. He also is the Carlos Sainz, where he doesn't get any screen time whatsoever, except for when he gets crashed into a wall, like you just saw earlier on in this race. But I think I expect Andy to be better than he is. Yes, he might be leading the championship, but after this race, it might not be. I mean, well, I might have to eat my words a little bit because that was a big lap time he just put in there, dealing with another 3-second time penalty. It's really not going his way today, is it? Top Tom's already on the back of Top Jack. Look at the pace he's chucking down right now.
That's insane from Top Tom. I think it's 1.4 seconds is the difference between the softs and the mediums. That's what's showing with Top Tom right now. He's gaining on Top Jack by 2 seconds a lap. That's how insane he is right now. And Top Tom is one of those drivers where he has no penalties at the moment. Obviously, with Top Jack having no penalties either. Yanab as well, and some idiots. So it's the 2 racing points and the 2 tops and Beaker.
So some idiot who obviously has now served his 5-second penalty. Yep.
And Top gets the lead.
Very easy, it looked like there. A nice simple DRS overtake. Top Jack, though, on the mediums. Remember, the softs will die off pretty early, and that's the issue. You got to think about that. We now also need to look at somebody. Oh, we've got a car off. Is that Dennis? Yep, it is. Dennis having a nightmare of a race. He's realistically driving, just hoping that a safety car comes out. If it does, cool. He's not pitting, I can guarantee that. As Matteo gains another position, but Jesper, it wasn't another position. They fought earlier. Jesper's actually trying to retaliate here. Matteo holding on here for dear life for P6. Penalties obviously still affecting will mean that Yanab should jump both of these guys, and maybe even more if he can keep up and actually attack a little bit more. A bit of mistake there from Matteo. This is allowing Jesper to get alongside of him. DRS is built for one of them, but not the other, and that's Matteo. He's going to lose out here. As you can see, Jesper looking down the inside in towards turn 1. He should be able to be better on the brakes if he can stick Matteo out on the outside. This should be... Never mind, Matteo's coming right back at him. Down the inside, into it. Who's going to be ahead by the time they get to the S's? That's the real question. But they're staying side by side throughout. This is never going to work out. And Matteo will be the one who gains. And it will be Jasper who stays down in P7. And Andy with another 3-second penalty. He's trying to take the title away from Luca for being the most inconsistent.
Yeah, he is, which is not what we want to see, Andy. Get no more penalties, please. But yeah, I think more people are exceeding track limits and are exploring the limits, as I say. And luckily, they're not doing a voucher Bottas and going into the grass. But yeah, there we go. But let's see what Jesper could do on Matteo going into this DRS straight then. He's got the straight line speed. He's going to try and go for the move once again. Jesper is coming a light in this Grand Prix at this stage, battling with the likes of Matteo. And I think he's going to have the edge on Matteo in 13 and 14, which he does. But Matteo may come back at him in turn 15 and 16. No, he's too further back at the moment. Meanwhile, Jesper's teammate Jonty is fighting over 11th place on Dylan. And Jonty gets the move done there. But we'll see if Dylan fights back really soon as well, which again, further back as well. But yeah. Jesper up into P6, but bearing in mind, penalties.
Well, Matteo did just get an extra 3-second penalty there. I mean, he did get forced off the track, so that warning may be contested. But again, Matteo would also need to make sure he doesn't get a single warning from the rest of this race. Because if he gets one more warning, that doesn't matter whether or not he got that warning for being pushed out, because it's immediately going to be nullified due to the extra one. So if Matteo can keep himself warning free, which I think he's just got another one there, then he might be able to contest that and remove a 3-second penalty, which should help him get ahead of Jesper. But yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to ultimately. 9 seconds is what Matteo has got right now. 6 is what Jesper has. So we'll see whether or not that is a case.
Exactly, and it's not that long to go until the end of the race as well, and Top Tom pouring the gap that he needs to as well. All it takes is for any of the top two to get penalties, and the results could change massively. But we know the top two is pretty much confirmed with Brownie's 3-second penalty. But who's going to get the positions below that? Who's going to get the podiums potentially as well? Yenab could still get a potential good place as well, and he's going to be fighting with Matteo there as well. And that was almost a move from Yenab there as well, but again, a bit too further back to do it as well. But with Matteo not getting past Jesper, that's allowing Yenab to close right up, and that's really helping the racing point. And it's going to come, well, to be honest, Yenab's going to get the place on track, with penalties anyway, because Yenab is no penalties. And I think, like I said at the beginning of the race, if you have no penalties, it can reward you, and that's what Yenab is doing. So fair play to him.
If a safety car comes out now, somebody could gain massive amounts here. However, Yenab, who's feeling really quick, really pacey, is going to go look down the inside here on Matteo coming in towards turn 1. We saw Matteo defend this earlier when it was Jesper doing it, and he's defended it once more when Yenab is doing it. I don't know, have we got some sort of obsession with Luca? Never mind. Yenab's coming right back at him. Matteo's going to try and stick it down the outside. It's not going to work. There's contact, and that's one of them going off. I think Yenab may feel a little bit guilty there, but he's not really done anything wrong as far as I can see. However, Matteo will defend it, but time has been lost. They are now outside the 1-second margin between him and Jesper will be going, oh, which religion did I need to follow? Because there's clearly some sort of God looking out for me right now. He's built that gap he needs. He hasn't got the 3-second covered off. I mean, it's Matteo has the extra 3, but if he does get that removed, they might go for it. Here comes Yenab going for a maneuver down the DRS straight. Easy slaps for him, he says, as Brownie is trying to attack Andy, and Andy's attacking him back. He's got the position up to P3. Brownie stuck between two cars here. Danico right into the gearbox here of this Williams. Danico's actually looking really good. He's going to try the outside line here. This is less than ideal. He's not going to get the cutback either because it's the inside for 3 corners next, so that's going to be just the same. Brownie, P4. Andy, P3 until penalties kick in. He's going to fall right down the order when that kicks in. But still, this is fantastic racing.
Yeah, it is. This is insane, I have to say. It looks like that everyone is like, right, it's towards the end of the race. I need to gain positions now, and I need to do it fast. But it may be too little too late. We will have to wait and see at the end of it. But Brownie is going to make up for lost time. The only place he's really going to gain is if his main rivals get another penalty, which could be likely. So, because Jesper also is on 6 seconds, so I know he's going to gain from Jesper. But yes, I think the ones with penalties just 3 seconds are going to pray that they don't get any more, of course. And Andy is praying he doesn't get any more either, but he's in almost within a 1-second margin of Jack, and it's important now. I think he's going to be winning the detection zone. Yes, he is. He's winning DRS now.
Yeah. I mean, Jack is still at risk, remember, because obviously he's on the medium tires. They will come back later on in this race when the softs get to around about lap 16, I think it was when they started to drop off. However, it's whether or not Jack has got the pace he needs in order to attack Top Tom. I think realistically, a 4.8 second gap whilst the soft, and they're still climbing, by the way. It's top 5 seconds now, actually, as Top Tom's pulling away quite nicely. I think it's maybe a bit too much. I think Top Tom's won this quite clear cut, which is sad because realistically, Andy and Some Idiot were the ones who were P1 too. Some Idiot was looking dead set on taking a victory, another victory actually, because I think this would have been his second if he had actually succeeded. This so far this season anyway, not in RNL history, because I know that would have been his third. Actually, Andy, like you say, he's closed in so much so. He's got that DRS already, but he's also very close to getting that overtake. So whether or not Top Jack is going a little bit defensive, looks to cover the inside, then again comes back out to the outside. Andy going deep in towards turn 1. It looks like he's kept that quite nicely, to be honest. And Top Jack's trying to get around the outside again. It's not going to work through here. Andy is up to P2 physically, but won't be there when the penalties kick in.
Yeah, I don't think Jack needs to challenge that, but he knew that he's got guys behind challenging for positions too. Even though they got penalties, they're going to try and pull away with the tyres they got. So maybe Jack does need to fight the guys behind him as well. So it's going to be a tall order for him, but with 12 laps to go until the end of this race, all it could take is for Jack to maybe get a penalty as well, and the ones behind him could be back into this race as well. But a race run down at the moment, Top Tom is leading by 5.3 seconds. Actually, 20.3 seconds due to the 15-second penalty from Andy. But there we go.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, he's only 5.5 seconds ahead of Top Jack, which is effectively going to be P2. But still, yeah, you're right. And when it comes to him and Andy, he's miles ahead. Andy's got no hope of being able to win this race now, or even, to be honest, staying on the podium. He's way off of it. He's barely even in points, I think. I think he might actually be outside of points. Let's have a look at the gap to leader, whilst these guys are currently giving each other the big suck. No, Andy will actually fall outside of the points. He will... Oh, no, he'll be P10, sorry. He'll be P10. Somebody will still gain on him.
Okay. So...
Confirmed.
Ooh, it's going to be quite close then. I have to say...
Well, actually, speaking of close, Brownie going for a maneuver around the outside here at Top Jack. This is a very difficult one to pull off. We saw Mateo defend like this earlier, but he couldn't attack like this, couldn't Brownie? And Top Jack will hold on for now. Realistically, Sector 1 is secure because you can't really go side by side through here. I mean, Brownie might feel otherwise with these grippier, softer tyres, but realistically, Top Jack is pretty happy right now, isn't he, on these mediums? He's just cozy, relaxing a little bit. He doesn't have to push too hard.
I don't think he's relaxing. Regardless. He's got guys behind him that want his position. And we know that we know the Delta is going to gain significantly in the final few laps of the Grand Prix. It's going to be quite close. But here comes Brownie then on the Top Jack. Oh. They're really going defensive at the moment. Danny Co could be in the middle of this again, but I don't think Jack thought that. So Brownie's up to third. The question is, can Brownie pull the gap they needed to get P3 on the road, as Dennis has retired from the race?
Virtual safety car. A virtual safety car has been deployed. Where is Dennis's car? Is that on track? Or has he crashed?
I don't know. Let's go on board with Beaker. Anywhere. Let's go on board. No, we can't go on board with Beaker.
Right, we can go with Beaker. We just can't go with Dennis. Dennis, I don't see his car anywhere on the circuit. That's
very weird.
We could have had a full safety car there, to be honest.
The annoying thing is it doesn't tell... I knew it was a VSC until you told me, because I don't have... For some reason, the game doesn't tell me that it's a VSC. Oh, it's green now. We're green flag.
Yeah, that was a very quick VSC. No one boxed, which is crucial. I mean, no one was going to box anyway, because we are at that stage in the race where we are there. But, you know, if you've got a penalty or two that you could potentially serve, you can only serve the 5-second ones, which have already been served anyway. So there's nothing to gain by boxing. What am I talking about? But Top Tom, still your race leader, 5.6 seconds ahead of Andy, who obviously is going to fall right down the order when those penalties kick in. Brownie, who also has one as well, so Top Jack is still net P2, regardless of the fact that he's lost out to Brownie physically. Danico, who also has a penalty behind, so Top Jack just needs to keep clean. If he can do that, he should still sit on P2. A really good podium step, massive points for Renault because they need them, to be truthfully honest. And, you know, again, Top Jack, 2 races in a row, he's looked really good. And actually, Danico looking down the inside scares Top Jack just a little bit into giving him a little bit of space. And now Danico again looking for the inside, but again, will just sit behind one. Another virtual safety car has been deployed. What is going on?
What's going on with this VOC? Is it just people spinning?
I don't know. Where's Dennis's car? I can't see his car anywhere on the track. On the track map.
It's always when the likes of Beaker Assassin hit the start of Sector 2 is when the VSC comes out. Is it going to be like this every lap?
It might be.
Oh my god. We don't want to race 10 like this. Come on.
Apparently Dennis went too hard into the pit lane. Yonti's got a drive-through for speeding under the virtual safety car.
Yonti!
Apparently we're going to see this for 2 more, because the maximum we can have is 5 safety cars in a side-by-side battle between Dylan and Assassin. They're giving it everything here, and actually Dylan looks like he might just get ahead. He's got the DRS to help him, and that has worked wonders for Assassin. Beaker might even capitalize on this as well. He's down the inside on Dylan once more. He's going to go around the outside of both of them. Beaker, pull this off, please. I haven't seen you pull anything like this in a long time. He doesn't get one. Unfortunately, that is him out of the contention for a P11, and Yonti is out of this race.
Shame for Yonti, but Beaker, I have to say, I don't think Beaker needs to fight now, because he would have been ahead of him anyway, because look at how many penalties he's got.
Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, Danico's going for an outside on Top Jack. This is going to be really tough, but Top Jack just fast. We've got another virtual safety car.
Oh, for good. Yeah, it's always when the same people head through Sector 2.
Apparently, we're going to see this one more time. We'll have to wait.
We'll have to. I've never seen this glitch before. I've never seen this glitch.
I've never seen this either.
It's
It's all Dennis's fault, though. We know that.
Dennis, Dennis, it's your fault.
We're
Maybe
back
Dennis
underway
is
again.
Baby Dennis is secretly helping his teammate.
Crew 6 has a drive-through.
It's causing.
How has he got a drive-through?
Speeding on the VSC.
Oh, big send here from Danico down the inside on Top Jack. Oh, there's contact, but nothing other than affecting Danico. That's on him. He could have avoided that himself. He's going to lose a little bit of time, but yeah, I mean we're good other than that. We'll see. Top Tom still race leader. Andy still P2. Brownie still P3, but it's Top Jack who's still on for a podium as it sits.
I'm just seeing how many penalties that Brownie has got. A second. Brownie's got 3. So this could be danger territory for Top Jack if he doesn't try and close into Brownie. But Brownie's tyres could die towards the end and Top Jack could go back at this. But the more obvious it again.
Yeah, it should be the last. Is this the 5th or the 6th? Apparently 6 is the maximum amount of safety cars you can have.
A 6 or so.
Apparently 6 for 100% is what JC said to me. So.
Oh, right, okay.
JC's a man who knows things.
I think the drivers must be very annoyed as much as we are.
100%. Well, this is the thing now, is that, again, this also comes down to the drivers now keeping their mentality in check. Because if this annoys you, then you're going to start making mistakes. You're going to start getting annoyed and pushing, and that that's where you're going to get these penalties. So the likes of Top Tom, Top Jack, Yenab, these guys, and somebody and Beaker have all not got any penalties. This is going to be something that might be a problem. We are looking into this, apparently, says the stewards. Thank you, Ravenduck. I don't know why I just said my own name. Whatever.
It's like the you and Ravenduck swap role. More drive-throughs. Beaker, no!
And Crew 6 has got DQ'd for ignoring his drive-through penalty. This is a stewarding nightmare. He's in the pits as well. There's nothing he can do.
Oh no! Surely it's gonna be red flagged. Surely.
Codemasters strike again. I think the stewards may call it early.
I will not
call it.
That means the stewards will have to do some maths.
Well, they've got the stream to go with it. I've shown the penalties when they asked for it, so I think they've got that one already under control. It's just...
Yeah, the thing is, we won't know. until the stewards say. So we won't know who to interview.
Whilst this is happening, race has been red flagged. Results will be taken from the beginning of lap 47. I had a feeling that, it's going to virtual safety car again. That.
Yeah, so...
All right, let me go to race director to give the stewards as much as I possibly can. So, in terms of incidents, I'm just going to slowly go through this. Fucking Codemasters, holy shit.
Yeah, so annoying.
Just going to give the stewards all of the race director information that they could possibly need.
I'll do the same as well on my stream.
Hopefully this gives them a... I'm going to have to hold on a second because the tire condition just accidentally came up on its own. I didn't press it, I promise you. That's a B key, and I was nowhere near the B key, but whatever.
Quite a lot of warnings.
There we go. Cassius, unfortunately, it's because the game has bugged out pretty hard.
The safety car VSCs came out every lap, and it's given people full penalties and drive-throughs.
So, unfortunately, despite the strategy calls, which would have been huge, because the likes of what Samidi was doing, he was looking like he could get. Well, he would have gained loads. Yanab is going to. I mean, they're all still going to gain in terms of the penalties. That's not going to change. Okay, so all the penalties that they've got already labelled out, we're going to stay as is. They're going to lose the amount of times that they were going to lose. It does, however, mean that Top Tom is your winner. That's a guarantee. Okay, we know that for sure. Top Jack is also your P2. We know that for sure. We just don't know for certain who is going to be P3. What I'd like to see from the drivers right now is I'd like to see them just start taking each other out just for bants, right? Because they got nothing to lose. You're in a position where you can absolutely just murder each other. So why not, right?
Why are we still showing the stream when we've got nothing going on? Because quite a few people are retired now. So.
Oh, Top Time got a penalty. That's him. He's in the bin. Get him in the bin.
Well, lap 47, he's got no penalty, so he's in the penalty-free club. Does the guys know that this race has been red flagged?
They'll be getting told if they haven't already been told, but I think they're just racing to just get to the end now. I don't think they really care. I mean, Top Tom just got a penalty, which he didn't have before.
Just go into the wall, guys. Just go into the wall. Just joking.
Yeah. I don't want to turn this into a Cody's bashing thing, but this shuts down so many things.
It shuts down so many strategies. Brownie could have got P2.
He could have pulled the gap on Top Jack. He only had 3 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah, Andy's been told. Brownie's been told.
Yeah, they're all being mid. I mean, the results you're seeing right now will.
I'm assuming the race coordinators are going to the team's chats right now. I'm assuming.
I think what we'll do is we'll take. I think it would have been Brownie P3 still, despite his penalty.
I will go to. I'll check my footage and see what the results would have been. So.
Can the steward just very quickly just tell me the top 3 so I can do the... I mean, we know Top Tom P1. We know Top Jack P2, but who's P3? Just so I can do the interviews, please. Obviously, even if it's provisional. I won't hold you to it. I just need to know provisional.
Yeah, because we still...
Andy? It's not Andy. No. I mean, after penalties.
After penalties. Please.
I think Brownie P3. I think it's Brownie P3.
I will check, because I think I've had penalties from lap 47. Quick maths. Apologies for the late, for the early finish, really. It's a bit of a shame, but...
Yeah. I only want to know top 3 there. I don't want to know the whole grid. I just want top 3, please. Stewards.
You could do your the rest of the maths later on.
Oh! Who is that? Top was doing donuts and he just got absolutely slammed by his teammate.
He's celebrating his win. Look at him. He's celebrating his win. Well, you're not seeing it on my stream, but you're definitely seeing it on Rwaggy's. Hold on a second. Oh, come on. I'm trying to find it.
I think it's Brownie. Yeah, so just to clarify what was going on in that race, guys, the VSC kept coming out every single lap. So the stewards, I think it's the right decision. Just called it and just said, that's it. We'll take whatever happened up to lap 47 as is, and we'll go from there. So It was giving people unfair drive-throughs, and then it gave Crew 6 a DQ, which obviously is unfair. So it is what it is. But
I'm just trying to see. I can't. So it would be, yeah, it's the Brownie P3. It's Brownie P3. By the looks of things, because everyone else around them wasn't even close enough. So Yonti wouldn't have DNF'd. So Yonti, I think, finishes. Oh, I don't know where he finishes.
Bika. I think over the last week, I think Bika has actually become in line with my opinion on this. I think he realizes this game's scuff. All right, what we will do is we will bring in. I believe it is Brownie.
That's why I said that. It's
is it confirmed? Yeah.
So, I believe it's Brownie. I don't think anyone else was close behind because Danny was behind him, and he also had a 3 seconds. So it's Top Tom P1, Top Jack P3, Brownie P3.
Alrighty, so we'll get Brownie in here as our P3. We'll have a chat with him. I can't even see his name. Where's Williams? Oh, he's not even in a team. Okay. Well, he's not in his team chat.
Brownie, get in your team chat or go into a voice chat and we'll drag you in.
I don't think he knows though. Let me message him real quick. Same with Top
Jack and Top Tom. Go in your team chats and we'll drag you in.
Well, they're already in this.
Oh, good. It's just Brownie.
It's just the third.
I've never seen this chat. I've never seen this glitch. So, can someone report it to Codemasters, please? I know it may be too late, but I just don't want it to happen for the next game.
They're not going to fix it. They're not going to fix it. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm being a pessimist, and I also don't want to turn this into me ranting about Cody's, but what the fuck was that?
Yeah, we're allowed to swear. So...
I'm just messaging Brownie, just asking if I can interview him.
Okay.
It was an esports ready game. Yeah, pretty much, mate. Pretty much.
Dearie me.
Okay, he's coming.
Good.
I don't know where he is. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Good afternoon, Brownie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. We'll talk. We'll gloss over the BS that we've just seen from within the game. However, as it stands, due to the penalties that you had accrued, you crossed the line. Metaphorically, P2. Obviously, penalty applied puts you P3. So, regardless, a very solid result from you. Actually, I think it's the first time this season you've been on a podium. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Are you feeling happy?
Yeah, I'm very lucky because I did not have good pace. I felt like.
I mean, to me, it looked like you were pulling away from Top Jack enough that maybe towards the end you could have pulled a 3-second gap.
Yeah, I was a bit mad about the red flag because, if I'm correct, there would have been.
I think you would have got Jack without that red flag.
No, there would have been one more VC, and then would have been 5 laps of green racing.
Yeah.
Because there's a maximum of 7 safety cars, I think.
Yes.
In 100%. I don't know. It's how it is. So I don't know. I pitted really early, 21 laps. So 21 laps on the softs the mediums are probably faster at the end.
I mean, it was. I've said this every single time we've come here in every game we've ever been here for. This track is a really hard track to keep track limits under control. And it's one of those tracks that if you can keep it completely clean, you've performed a miracle, in my opinion. Especially if you want to drive fast, because you got to properly commit into a corner, and you got to react as well when your tire wear drops. But you looked like for the most part, you had it under control. To only get a 3-second was pretty good going in comparison to a lot of others. I mean, even Andy, who's shown time and time again, he's got incredible pace, but he had a lot of penalties to his name. You clearly figured something out. Next week, though, is Belgium.
I can tell you my secret.
Go on then, hit me.
I was just driving really slow.
Oh, well, yeah, it works. It works. Yeah. It's
I was
effective.
slow enough to not get penalties. If I would have tried to keep up with Tom, I would have ended up like Andy penalty-wise. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable. That's the thing. You got that pace / consistency trade-offs in some cases, especially on this track. But next week is Belgium. And if I remember correctly, Belgium is a track that I've seen you do really well at. Do you think you can replicate similar today for next week?
Well, there's a lot of intel going around of how the pros are driving really, really extreme setups on Belgium. So it's basically the question is who can master these crazy setups and drive them fast.
Which I know is
No.
you. That's you. You've always
I'm not
been
so
known
sure.
to...
I'm not a fan of 11 rear suspension.
I think you've got it in you.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe I can do it.
Let me just kill the F1 game.
I already did that ages ago, mate.
Yeah, well, I tabbed out, sorting all this out, and I forgot to completely kill the game, and it was now playing in my ears in the background. But look, regardless of everything that happened there, you still secured a P3, so podium locked in, which is a fantastic result from you. Next week, Belgium, I do need a prediction from you. We're going to see a podium?
I think for me.
Yeah.
I think let's say yes, I'm gonna get a podium. Maybe P3.
Yes, nice confidence. You
Yeah,
see?
we'll take that.
You
Fuck,
see?
no, I have to practice. Oh.
Yeah.
Get off my
Like,
back.
the annoying thing is, there's people that go in the podium interviews and they're asking, "Are you going to get that double podium?" And they said, "No." Well, you're like, "Yes, I like you already." Right. You're one of my favourites now.
All right, Brownie. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you for racing. Congrats on your P3.
Yes. Thanks for casting and
Anytime. Not anytime, because this game's a piece of shit. I mean, see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
P2 was Top Jack. All right. First time in here with us. Let's get him in. Hello, Mr. Top Jack.
Hello.
First of all, congrats on not only an incredibly well-driven race from yourself, but also your first time on the podium.
Yes. Well, at the end, the VSC glitch that really helped me a lot. So otherwise, I would have dropped off a lot.
I don't think you would. Honestly, you looked like the strategy looked like it was coming back to you later on in this race. I actually think that you were slightly hampered by the fact that, I mean, look, you weren't going to get P1. Top Tom was just way too fast and way too far up the front in order to get it back. But I don't see you losing that P2 ever. The only way you would lost that is if you get penalties, and that would have been it. But I want to just just stop talking, all right, and let me give you some singing praises, all right, because you looked so good. Your pace was really good. Your consistency was top notch, which is something I value in a driver anyway. You actually genuinely lived up to your name. You were Top Jack.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I was one off a penalty, so it could have gone all wrong, really, but I kept it clean, kept focused, so it's all I can really do.
I don't know if you watched these races back when I commented them, but I've said it last week and this week in particular that I remember racing with you not that long ago, and you were about my pace. You are so much faster than me now, and it's really good to see how in such a short space of time you've developed, and just proven that you are worthy of being up there with the big boys.
Yeah, just a lot of practice, really. It's how really to get quick. Just need to keep on practicing.
Well, speaking of practice, next week is, in fact, I'm looking at the wrong calendar. It is Belgium. I was like, Monaco. It's definitely not Monaco. Belgium next week.
Yeah.
Are you a quick boy? Are you going to get that locked in?
I do like Spa. It's one of it's up there with some of my favorite tracks. So, yeah.
So prediction would be
Podium?
P1?
Let's say a podium then. Why not?
Yeah.
We'll take that. All right. So Brownie thinks he's getting a P3 with your pace and consistency. I suspect another P2 locked in, at least. By the way, because I'm hoping that you push yourself hard enough to get a P1 next week. But you are up against a fair few sweats in there.
Yeah, some people in there are extremely quick. So it's
All
just, yeah.
Well, look, congratulations for a really solid result today. P2, you're actually hard carrying your team. You need to go and kick them up the backside and get them sweating with you as well. And we'll see both Renaults on the podium next week.
Hopefully so, yeah.
Well done.
All right. Congrats,
Thank you.
mate. See you soon.
Thank you. See you soon.
Let's get our winner, shall we, Ben? Let's get our winner in.
We stand for Top Tom. Here he is.
Let's go.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah. Fantastic at the win. It's a top 1 too.
Yes.
So that's just great scene, really. And yeah. Obviously, we're gonna gloss over the glitch. It was ridiculous, but it happens. Affected things a little bit, but it happens.
Yeah, I mean it's sad that it did happen, but regardless, there was one thing that was almost concrete: was no matter how bad you drove for the remainder of that race, unless you physically killed the car, there was no way you was going to lose that race. When you had all of the consistency locked in, your pace was just exceptional, and you had everything you needed to be able to get that P1 pretty much secured, even if your soft tires dropped off. So, I don't think you could say anything went wrong for you today. And apparently, at one point, you were talking about the weather outside in real life.
Yep.
Were you that bored?
I mean, it was pretty chill at the end, and then the VSC just killed the race, killed the concentration entirely. I mean, I mean, go through my race. I mean, I got a bit lucky in fairness. Like, obviously, I had a bit of a bit of it was a poor quality for me. Really, it shouldn't have bottled that lap, and then obviously I got a bit of a bad start, lost out of position on Danico. We gained it back in the end, but yeah, I mean, got very lucky on the safety car with Andy and some idiot. That was BS really on their side. Andy seemed to have like some screen freezing issues, and then yeah, somebody had to give the place back, and then the game just allowed me to pass them. So that was debatable, but
yeah,
I suppose we'll take it. Unfortunate to those two. But yeah, sometimes you got to take your chances, I suppose. And I got a lot of bad luck at Mexico, so made up in that side. And from there, it was just controlling the race. I didn't really know if I was a bit scared that those guys in front were going to do 2 soft stints. I didn't know if they could. I knew if they were, then I was going to be done for. But they had to go on mediums, so that was very good for me because that managed to allow me to catch back up. I'm surprised that people didn't pit earlier, to be honest, on the softs. Yeah, it worked out for me, and luckily I passed them all before the VSC glitch happened. So yeah, solid race. Very good in the championship because not only did we win, but also Andy got 15 seconds. Some idiot got bad luck, so that's really good.
Yeah,
and
that's really closed you up, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's really helped me. So yeah.
Let's have a quick look at the standings from last week prior to this race. So you were P3 in the standings, 73 points. Obviously, 25 now will put you literally tied with Andy if he hadn't gained any points. But obviously, I don't know exactly. I think he gains 1. I think you're
seconds.
just behind him.
15 seconds.
No
offense, but how do you get 15?
I think he was tilted off the planet, to be honest, once his game started lagging out. I think he got tilted. I think he's lucky that the game ended when it went with the race ended when it did, because with his mentality that being tilted, he would probably have got more and actually lost out on any points. I believe you are P2 by 1 point if the standings are correct.
Okay, well we'll see.
Did you get fastest lap? I don't think you did, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I don't know who got that.
I think Yonsi got it because he was sweating on the softs at one point before he started getting penalised with drive-throughs and DQs.
What sweat? Imagine sweating. Jesus.
I know, right? Who sweats? So yeah, you are P2, I believe, overall by 1 point. And especially going in Belgium, that's now going to really spice things up. Because after Belgium is in fact going to be a break week. So and we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races after that. So every point right now really matters. Are you feeling confident for Belgium? Are we going to see another Dubski?
I do feel confident for Belgium. I think it's definitely around. I should be podiuming, going for the win. We'll see. What happened again? Brownie touched it. You kind of have to run the oversteer set, especially in qualifying, because you need the straight line speed as well. So it's gonna be interesting. But Belgium's always been a good track for me historically on the F1 games and on other games. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be a could be a win, but I'm gonna say realistically, at least a podium. That has to be the aim.
Which translates nicely for you guys in the Twitch chat to he means he's going to easy slaps P1
Yeah.
by
He's going to get the dub.
20 seconds. Yeah, easy
2
slaps.
laps minimum.
2 laps lapped, easy. Well, I mean, if Fender repeats the level of penalties he got this week, that might actually not be far off the truth. But by the way, ridiculous from the game still gives you a huge 25 points in your name and actually brings your team that little bit closer because you need to have a word with your teammate. Yeah, you need to have a word with your teammate. I mean, you are P3. Those 25 points will help bring you closer, but you are still staying P3. There's no change there. You really need to find yourself a teammate who could pull his finger out and actually deliver.
Well, we had Owen, but then he didn't get to load a setup because his game crashed at the start, so that didn't really help.
Oh, so that will happen then.
And Dylan has been like adjusting to Pell's not had any practice time. It's not ideal, but yeah, you need to stop balling really. So
have a word.
Yeah, that's Jess. That's why that's why Owen basically had to give up because he was going to be like a second off the pace every lap. So yeah, bit of a
shame.
But yeah.
You need to kick him up the backside and get him the left side out.
Exactly.
Alrighty, congrats again, and I look forward to seeing you get easy slaps P1 next week.
Can't wait. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
my pleasure. All right, you take care. See you soon.
See you.
I'll leave you to bye.
Bye.
And that's it for the RNL. It's a bit of bitter end to the race. It should really have been one that took all the way to the end, and actually the strategy could have come back for a lot of the drivers, especially one like some idiot. But unfortunately, he couldn't get it together. So, and the game screwed him over. But it is what it is.